start doing the Kenny Beecham Enjoy Basketball NBA standings predictions for the Eastern Conference. Not gonna overtalk it. We can go ahead and get right into it, man. So off rip, I'm gonna put the Boston Celtics at number one. I know they've had the coaching issues this summer, but outside of that, this team has retooled quite well, and I don't see any reason why they won't end up being at the top of the conference again this season. So they're going to be number one. I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to continue to get better. Marcus Smart is probably going to be at or close to where he was last season. They added Brogdon. They got Blake Griffin to try and help out until Robert Williams gets back. I believe that's who's injured. Either him or Al Horford, one of them is out. So until they get back, they have a little help with that. I think there's not going to be any layover, at least during the regular season, in regards to their coaching issues during the summer. So I think they'll be just about the same. And then number two, I think I'm going to give it to the Philadelphia 76ers. I think they had a disappointing season last season. They're supposed to be healthy. Everybody's supposed to be healthy coming back into this season. Tyrese Maxey will be, another year on his belt. He'll be getting better. Tobias Harris will be looking to play for a contract because I believe his contract is up this year. Joel Embiid has been what he would call snubbed for 2 years in a row. I disagree with that, but he'll be motivated. He wants to win. James Harden is supposed to be motivated, and I think he will just for the regular season. I don't see him. I don't see that carrying into the postseason. But everybody should be motivated on this team. They have the talent. They have the depth. They should have the coaching. That's debatable. But so this team should be primed to run through the regular season. All right, and then we're gonna go number three. Um, I'm gonna go with Brooklyn. I think again they're primed for the regular season. They got swept last year. Kyrie has something to prove. KD has something to prove. Ben Simmons has something to prove. And while I think when the playoffs start, Ben Simmons is not going to be as effective, I think in the regular season he is a regular season player. That's the type of player you want in the regular season. He's gonna stuff the stat sheet. He's gonna get out on the break. He's gonna play defense. I think his impact is going to propel them to having a really good regular season record, whether regardless of who else is on the court. And then they had additions like Royce O'Neal and T.J. Warren. Nick Claxton has another year on his belt. He'll most likely get a little better. So I think they're being set up for a good regular season, and I think that them, just like the Philadelphia Sixers, because of last season, they have to have a good showing during the regular season for anybody to believe in them at all. So I'm going to put them at three, and at four, I'm going to go Milwaukee. It typically, since that season they won the ring. Like during that regular season, they haven't cared too much about the regular season. I think they just want to try and get a top four seed so they can get home court in that first round matchup, and just really try to work out the kinks throughout the season is really kind of how they operate, which I think is a good way to move going forward for them because teams are constantly trying to find new ways to stop Giannis, and I think during the regular season they have to try other things because if teams see it all season with Giannis, they're gonna be prepared for it come playoff time. And if you continuously give them different looks and different ways to get him the ball and to get into your offense with them, come playoff time, they'll be so versatile and have so many options to go to that there's no way that anybody will actually be able to stop that team. I do have them as my favorites to come out of the East, but again, they don't really care about the regular season all that much, which I mean they shouldn't. So then next we're gonna go with I'm gonna give it to the Cavs at five. I think this young team is gonna surprise a lot of people. I'm still unsure of their three spot unless they're trying to put Karis LeVert there, but that doesn't give them much defensive, ability on that starting lineup, and it kind of takes away from their depth off the bench. But I do like them at five. Very young team, very exciting. They're gonna put up points. They got a tremendous back line of defense in Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. I think that's going to be fun to watch. Donovan Mitchell looks amazing in the preseason so far. Darius Garland looks like he's going to be gunning for a All Star starter spot. For All Star for sure. So I think they'll be really good. They'll probably end up at that number 5 spot. So number 6, I'm gonna give it to the Atlanta Hawks. Again, they another young team. I think they're gonna be very exciting to watch. And then with the addition of Dejounte Murray, Trey Young looks unstoppable on offense. He is an offense himself. I think they'll be very fun to watch. John Collins gonna be flying around. They still got Onyeka Okongwu and Clint Capella, so I think that'll be fun to watch. All right, and then number 7, I'm gonna give the number 7 spot to the Miami Heat. They honestly had a disappointing, off season. I thought they would add more. They lost PJ Tucker, and then they really didn't do much else. I think they're banking on Tyler Hero taking the next step. Maybe they put him into the starting lineup. I think they're also banking on Kyle Lowry getting back healthy. They're gonna need Bam Adebayo to step up. But honestly, all that stuff, I think that's too much counting on internal improvement. I think they're banking on that just a little bit too much. They didn't get anybody to replace PJ Tucker, so that 4 spot is still wide open. I don't know who they're going to put there. I don't see anybody on the roster that'll fulfill that to the point where I think that would give them a top 6 seed. But it's Miami, so I do think they'll still be somewhat in the mix. But I just think it'll probably fall in this 7 to 8 range. Then number 8, I'm gonna go a little bit of a. It's not even a homer pick. I'm going the Bulls. I'm gonna get Chicago Bulls. As much offense as they have in Zach LaVine and DeMar and Vooch, I think Lonzo being out to start the season or possibly the whole season is gonna hurt us again. I think everybody saw what the Bulls were as constructed with Lonzo at the point, Zach and DeMar on the wings, Vooch down low. I think Zach really raised the ceiling for not Zach. Lonzo really raised the ceiling for Vooch. But now that when he's not there, I think that hurts Vooch a little bit because Zach and DeMar really don't get any offense or really look for him. The only other person on the team that really looks for Vooch is Io. And he's gonna be starting. But as much as I love Io, I don't know how he's gonna fare in this Eastern Conference. All of these great guards, great offensive and defensive guards. As a starter, I think he's gonna really have to prove himself. He's probably gonna go through a lot of bumps and bruises being the starting point guard this year. For honestly, who knows how long? Nobody knows when Lonzo will be back. I don't even think he knows. So I'm gonna have them at 8, and just pray as a Chicago Bulls fan that they can hold on to that 8th spot and at least make the play in. I think a Boston and Chicago series would be really fun. We haven't seen one of those in a while, but I think that'll be a pretty. It's always a fun series. Always a fun series. Then after that, I think Toronto will. Oh my God, I put Toronto kind of low. Do I want to keep them at? Ah, all right. I'm making a switch. Miami is going to the 9. Oh no, can we swap that? Uh, Miami is going to 9. And I'm gonna put Toronto at 7. All right, that was on my part. I'm gonna put Toronto at 7. I love their depth. They have a lot of looks they can give you. They don't have a big, which I think is gonna hurt them at some point during the year. But just their versatility between guys like Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, all those versatile wings that they have out there. I think that's gonna bode very very well for them this season. So I'm gonna put them at 7 above Chicago. Wow, do I put Chicago under Miami? Oof. I'm gonna be a homer. I don't care. I'm keeping Chicago at 8. I'm keeping them there. All right, so then Miami 9. I'm gonna go. Washington slips into that 10 spot, and then the rest of this really does not matter. But I guess it'll go probably like no, it won't go New York. I'll probably go. No, I'll probably go be New York. New York, and then the rest of these teams are looking to tank. Charlotte will probably be a little fun, but no one will care. Uh, Detroit, actually, Detroit can go up 1 because yeah, they can go up 1. Actually, Detroit will probably be better than New York. New York will probably be horrible this year. All right, then Charlotte 13, Indiana will be 14, and Orlando is not probably not trying to win games. They'll probably be 15. All right, man. So this is my predictions. As you can probably tell, I didn't do too much research on this. This is just off the top of my head. Um, this is going to be a competitive year. I said in the last video, this is probably going to be some of the best basketball we've seen in quite a few years, as just far as competitive level throughout the season. So, while I have this order like this, I don't expect it to be a huge gap. Like, I think 1 through 6 will probably be separated by like 4 games or something at the most. I don't think there's going to be a huge disparity in these standings. So saying I have Miami at 9 doesn't mean that I think Miami is going to win 36, 37 games. I think they'll at least be 500, but it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to come down to a lot of tiebreakers, a lot of other metrics to try and, figure out like, okay, these teams have similar records. You're going to have to, figure out who gets the tiebreaker in the situation. I think it's going to be a lot of competitive basketball, a lot of fun basketball, and I can't wait to get into the season. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think. What did I get wrong? What did I get right? Where would you have put this team? And tell me why. I love to read you guys' comments, and I get in the comment section. I read everything, and I'll get back to it as quickly as I can. So until next time, guys, appreciate you for watching.